Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, I'm going to show you guys 5 cool ways of playing some diminished ideas on the guitar. Now the cool thing about these 5 different ways is that we're really going to start with a very basic approach and then go into more advanced approaches that really utilize the entire neck and all the strings. So there's a little bit of everything for any kind of player. So before we get started with the lesson, I really want to talk about the importance of harmony and when we can use diminished. Although diminished is very cool and can give us a very cool and exotic sound, because it's kind of exotic by nature, in terms of harmony, it can't always be used because it will clash with the harmony that we're playing over. So just keep that in mind, that while diminished is cool, it's not always useful, or it can't always be used in the musical context that you're playing over. So the first idea is really just a 1-string tremolo picking idea where we're ascending a minor third or descending a minor third. So the first idea is very simple and basic, and it's really just this. So essentially we're just, again, ascending or descending a minor third by going up or down 3 frets. So if we're going here, 1, 2, 3, that would be our next note. And if we were here and we were descending, we would go 1, 2, we would play that. This, of course, can be played on any string. So that's kind of what's cool about it. So for our second approach, we're going to do a 2-string arpeggio kind of thing. And it's a sort of a technique that was popularized by Yngwie Malmsteen. And it's also popular in metal music. So there's really 2 ways of playing this. There's one way where we're ascending by hammering on, and another way where we're descending and pulling off. So let me demonstrate both. The cool thing about this approach is that we can ascend it and of course descend it and move it around the neck by just, again, using that kind of same approach that we learned in the first approach, where we're just kind of moving it up 3 frets or moving it down 3 frets. So let me show you what that would sound like. Now, one tip I'll give you guys for playing and shredding through this idea is that while we're playing the idea, we really want to create a slight repetition there where we play the idea twice. And before we finish playing the second repetition, our eyes are focused on visualizing the next shape, whether we're ascending or descending. So if we're playing here, right around this point, I'm already visualizing the next spot that I'm going to move to on the neck. So that way I'm chunking the information and making it easier and really focusing my energy on where I'm moving next, rather than spending my entire focus and energy on playing this one little shape and then kind of at the end then deciding, or trying to decide in a split second where I'm supposed to be, when I should have done that or could have done that earlier. So that leads to being able to play this shape much faster and much more accurately, because we're really, again, focusing our eyes and almost like using that as a target to where we want to be on the next repetition. So for the next approach, it's really just a 3-string version of what we just played. It really involves just sweep picking a 3-string idea of this diminished thing. So let me play that for you guys. Again, this approach was popularized by Yngwie Malmsteen, and Yngwie continues to use this approach in his playing to this day. So it's a very popular thing to do if we're playing diminished. There is another slight variation of the way we can play this, so let me show you guys that. So for that slight variation, we're really just building the shape and then kind of just sweeping through it rather than hitting every note. It's almost like we're playing it almost like a chord sort of, but still kind of sweeping it. It gives you a slightly different sound, and Yngwie uses, again, both approaches. But slowly, that's really just this. And of course, with this approach, we're also, again, ascending or descending just moving the same shape 3 frets up or down the neck. Now for the fourth approach, I really consider this sort of a pentatonic-y inspired 2-note per string way of playing Diminished. And the cool thing about it is that it ascends and descends the guitar neck in sort of a not a very traditional way where we're kind of moving in this kind of direction. It's not very common in guitar, but definitely looks cool and sounds very cool. So here is that approach. First, we're going to play it at normal speed, and then we'll slow it down for you guys. So that idea essentially is just taking a 2-note per string diminished idea, but we're adding a little pattern to it. But you can add any pattern you want, and any kind of pattern that you use on your pentatonic scale should be able to be applied to this kind of pattern as well, because we're, again, playing 2 notes per string on each string. So it's a really cool idea. It's something I like to add to my own playing. Especially when I'm in harmonic minor or something like that. It just sounds super cool, and it's a cool way of, again, descending, or of course you could also ascend as well. So the pattern would be similar, but we would just pick it a little bit different. So anyway, that's the fourth approach. So for the fifth approach, it's essentially very similar to the fourth approach, but instead of ascending and descending in this direction, we're going to be ascending and descending in this direction. And I consider this the most difficult because it's not as guitar players, we're not very used to ascending and descending in this kind of direction. So I consider it to be the most awkward to play, but you can still play it at very high speed because the picking and technique is very similar to what we just played. Again, it's a 2-note per string idea. So anyway, guys, let me show you guys what that sounds like, and then we'll slow it down for you guys. Anyway, guys, as you guys can see, it's certainly awkward to kind of move and ascend in that way. Anyway, guys, that pretty much concludes this video. Those were 5 different cool ways of playing some cool diminished ideas on the guitar. If you learned something and got some use out of the video, go ahead and hit that like button and consider subscribing, because we release videos like these on a weekly basis. So hopefully, guys, we'll see you in the next video.